Hello and welcome. You are watching News 9 Live. I am Krishna Kumar, and much has transpired in the recent days with regards to the KCR-led push to forge a new national front of the opposition, minus the grand old Congress party, to take on the BJP in the upcoming 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Just recently, it was Mamata Banerjee who had met with Samajwadi Party's Akhilesh Yadav. The two regional leaders appeared together and made staunch statements about defeating the BJP in the upcoming elections next year. And on the 27th of April, K. Chandrasekhar Rao or KCR is said to be planning the upcoming BRS plenary in Hyderabad to bring all the regional parties together. But without beating around the bush, the question is, will all of it succeed? Will this new front, sans the Congress party, succeed in defeating the BJP in the upcoming elections? And to understand that and put things into perspective, I have with me News 9's political editor Brijesh Pandey joining me in the studio, and we also have Bachchu Srinivas Gupta, political analyst, joining us live as well. Let me begin with Bachchu Srinivas ji. Tell us, in terms of the ground reality, where does this KCR-led front stand at the moment?
First of all, very good evening to join the debate. Mr. KCR, we would like to know about, before going to the discussion about the parliament in 2024, what exactly Mr. KCR in 2001 and what Mr. KCR today we should realize and we should know. We experienced with two MPs, he achieved the Telangana state. That is the strength of Mr. KCR. He is practicing since more than 5 years of time to form a front in the national level, non-BJP and non-Congress, equidistant with both the parties, to form a national front and national alliance. Since 5 years he is planning. After 5 years, he transformed the TRS into BRS and is trying. Anything can happen in the politics at any moment. That is KCR. KCR can create, KCR will do the miracle. That's a KCR. So in 2024, for a qualitative change in politics, he says all the time, to prove this statement, to achieve this statement, definitely he lead the team, and we hope he has such a strength with him. So I believe him. He can lead the team, and he will achieve, and he will make the miracles in the politics. He is the man, such a great and strength man in the southern. He is one and only person today from southern region who is opposing Modi. That is the tallest person of the southern region.
All right, fair enough. Stay with us, Bachchu Srinivas ji. Let me take this across to our political editor, Brijesh Pandey. Brijesh, KCR is indeed, as he rightly points out, a tall leader from the south, one of the loudest, anti-BJP voices, available in the country. But to have a front that is led by KCR, when the likes of Mamata Banerjee is around, talk to me about the political possibility of it all from your own perspective.
Well, I don't see a KCR-led for national alternative taking on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. See, what is happening is that it seems that majority of these opposition leaders have gone through latest arithmetic classes, and what they are doing is that what they have decided is that, in the state of Bihar, BJP is 39 out of 40. So they believe that if RJD and JDU is able to dent them by 15 seats, and in Uttar Pradesh again, if they are dented by another 15-20 seats, and if the same thing happens in West Bengal, same thing if happens in Odisha, and also in Telangana, then they feel that the BJP will be at least 80-90 seats short of the required majority, and going by the depleting number of NDA, the BJP will be hard-pressed to get those numbers. But the biggest question which comes is, who will become the leader of this coalition? And that is a $1 million question, because majority of these regional leaders, like say, for example, why would Mamata Banerjee want to cede away leadership to somebody else when she herself has a bright chance of winning, close to 20-30 seats? So I think, but KCR is a tall leader from South, and Telangana, there is a massive fight which is going on between the BJP and the BRS, and if you look at the fact that Kavita is now being, today was the third day when she's been interrogated by the ED, there is a massive war of words. But KCR leading the pack is slightly a far-fetched scenario. You must not forget what happened, when KCR went to meet Nitish Kumar in Bihar, where, when the question was asked, Nitish Kumar literally stood up, and, it was very apparent that the pre-poll scenario, everybody is fighting, they want to be anti-Modi, but it is only once the numbers are there, then you will get to know whether who gets to become the leader of this party.
Right, and by that logic, Brajesh, the second largest party, the third largest party after the Congress and the BJP was the DMK last time around in the Lok Sabha election. So if you talk about pure numbers, Bachchu Srinivas ji, you have the weight from Tamil Nadu, which is consistently been, not just once, many times the DMK or the ADMK emerging as the largest the party apart from the national parties that we're talking about over here. The question is, does Mr. KCR have the numbers on his side to lead this front? If not, my other question would be, can he be a kingmaker instead of becoming the king of this opposition front?
No, whether who will become the king, who is going to lead the team, this is not the prime thing, I believe. Basic thing is, now there is a big question in front of the nation that who is going to oppose Modi. This is only the basic thing, because Congress lost his strength. Congress is, even after the Jodo Yatra, the Rahul ji is unable to get the unity between the party. That is the big problem today. So now it is only left to the regional parties who transformed as a national parties or whatever we call today, whether we call them as regional or national parties, they only can stop or oppose the Modi ji. Then ultimately after elections, definitely they become together and they are going, somebody will lead, and who is going to lead is the question. In every state, in West Bengal or Tamil Nadu or wherever you take any regional party which is transformed, there they don't want to come. In that political parties, they want to see their own state and they don't want to come to the national level. But in case of BRS, it is not like that today. Mr. KTR is there, Kavita ji is there, and Harish Rao ji is there. Many second leaders are there. And now he is the man who is having the more than 40 years of political experience. He can face or he can lead any kind of problem or any kind of issue. And today the Telangana has become Telangana ruling has given to the nation a Telangana model government. So in such a way, in this situation, the KCR can lead and KCR can come forward aggressively. He's trying and he can do the magic. That I can believe him.
Right. The question is,
if you take Akhilesh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Tell me.
Please go ahead. You were talking about Akhilesh.
If you take Mr. Akhilesh ji is only concerned to that particular region. He cannot come to the national level politics. He contribute, he participate, he will be a member, but he don't like to be. I don't think that he would like to lead the team. Even
but I'm sure Mamata Banerjee would. But I'm sure Mamata Banerjee would want to lead. And then there is when you talk about the national party, Bachchu ji, there's also the Aam Aadmi Party, which is cross state borders.
At this time, maybe even AAP leader also. They are in four states. But he don't want to leave the Delhi.
So, Mr. Bachchu, Brijesh Pandey this side. So you think that by just because the fact that KCR wants to leave Delhi and that he is being one of the most vociferous voice as far as anti-Modi brigade is concerned, you seriously see him or you fancy the chance that KCR gets to be the leader of the pack?
I'm sorry, please.
The point is that, KCR is a tall leader from Telangana. He has huge public support. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But the question here is, how will he play a role? Because in terms of numbers as a national leader to sort of lead that front.
See, number is not the criteria. That is, today you are all talking about the arithmetics or mathematics. Today, number is not the criteria today. Don't worry about the number. I told my first statement is he achieved the Telangana state with 2 MPs. You believe in that? It is achieved. He
Yes.
achieved that with
We
the
agree on
support
that.
of Congress party and even including the Bharatiya Janata Party in where it was in opposition. They supported for this particular cause. That's the greatness of KCR. Even tomorrow, anything can happen. Anything can happen. We have seen many coalition governments. The Chandrasekhar ji has become the Prime Minister of India. Devegowda has become the Prime Minister of India. Many people have become the Prime Minister
Oh,
of
that's a
India
fair point.
with 11 seats. With 11 seats, Chandrasekhar ji has become with 11 seats, I believe.
Right.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
If I am not wrong, only 11 seats, I believe.
Fair enough. I mean, that it's a very good point you're making, Bachu Srinivasji. The numbers don't really matter. A lot has transpired in Indian politics and coalition politics in India. Some very good historical examples. Stay with us. So we also have a senior journalist, Nagaraja Gali, now joining us on this broadcast. Nagaraj, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. Tell us, we're discussing the possibility of the main opposition political front in India being led by the KCR of Telangana. How do you view KCR's role? Do you see him as somebody leading the pack of the opposition, an opposition that is without the Congress party, or do you see him as the kingmaker of the opposition pack?
Good evening, all of you. Just let me say something before I reach out to your point. See, in India, in Indian polity, there are mainly 3 or 4 stands of opposition. Number 1, the Congress. Number 2, the parties supporting the Congress, like DMK, Stalin's DMK, Sharad Pawar's NCP, and the JMM, Soren. And also there is opposition, the parties which are opposing the Congress, like AP, then KCR, then Mamata Banerjee, then Samajwad Party, like that. So, this is very difficult and challenging task to keep different stands of opposition parties together under Congress leadership. The AP is trying to eat into the Congress space, what we have seen in Delhi and what we have seen in Punjab, and in Gujarat also, it grabbed the Congress vote bank. KCR is also strongly opposing the Congress and pitching for non-BJP, non-Congress front. In this whole picture, opposition unity is a very challenging task. It may be ultimately, what may happen is, Rahul Gandhi versus opposition. Ultimately, that's what we can infer from the utterances of Akhilesh Yadav and Mamata Banerjee the day before. As far as KCR's this thing is, in opposition, 2-3 challenging tasks are there. Number 1, lack of consistency. Consistency, whether to oppose, what extent these opposition parties oppose the Narendra Modi government, the BJP. And number 2, the lack of alternative agenda. And the lack of viable agenda. Till recently, KCR was supporting Narendra Modi on several issues. Take it demonetization, GST, and several things. He was an invisible friend outside Narendra Modi government. The credibility problem is there. Trust deficit the opposition parties are facing. Mamata Banerjee, earlier she supported she was part of Vajpayee government, BJP government, and Mamata Banerjee, and then Mayawati, like that. This consistency problem is there. That's why we cannot say what extent these opposition parties, not only they will get together and also they will fight the BJP government.
Right.
The talk of opposition unity right at the time of elections may not be viable. In the last 4 or 5 years, absence of any kind of opposition unity on major issues concerning the people, like this Citizen Amendment Act, Ayodhya issue, then Kashmir issue. Whatever the opposition speaks of unity right before the elections may not be viable.
Right.
Also, another challenging task before the opposition parties is who is the PM space, Prime Minister space, who is?
Absolutely.
Mamata Banerjee says, I represent, say, 42 seats in Parliament.
Okay. Okay.
Akhilesh says, my state has 80 seats. That means 102. See, KCR says, I am the right man, vocal anti-Modi face. So I am the face of Prime Minister. See, in this whole scenario, see, three major issues. Number one, lack of consistency. Almost all regional parties are fence sitters. At one point of time, they may either support the Congress or
Fair enough. We
back the
get the point,
BJP.
Nagaraj ji. Nagaraj ji, the problem here at this stage is that the basic opposition unity itself is a problem. And then on top of that is the question of who's going to be the Prime Minister's face. And Brijesh, those are serious questions when you want to be the main opposition front to the ruling government.
Well, I think, by the example which was given by Bachuji is a one-off example, because if you look at the way, coalition politics have developed in the last 20, 30 years, there's one national party and around it which, the entire opposition parties have gravitated and they have formed a front to rule the country. Very rarely we have seen, and we also know what is the outcome of a coalition where, somebody with a 15, 20 seats and you cobbles up a coalition where one person gets to become the Prime Minister. The million dollar question, as I've been saying, is that who accepts which person is the biggest or the tallest leader and somebody who gets to become the Prime Minister, because all the political parties would be like 5, 7, 10 seats away from each other. So why would say a Mamata Banerjee with a larger number of seats would allow a KCR to become the Chief Minister? And we have also seen how it works out. It looks good. On paper, it looks good that Mamata Banerjee is meeting Akhilesh Yadav, and KCR is getting all these powerful regional satraps on one podium, and everybody is talking about them. But to assume that this would form a coalition which would defeat Modi is slightly far-fetched. I don't see that happening, because the opposition unity, as Nagaraj was saying, is a key and critical component as far as forming this third front or fourth front is concerned. Right. And I don't see that happening, until unless there's one party which is the largest party, say somewhere in the range of 70, 80, 100 seats, and the rest of the parties coming together to defeat, to form a coalition or government to defeat Bharatiya Janata Party.
Right, Bachu Srinivas, that's the point here essentially, isn't it? It has happened before. Many things have happened in Indian coalition politics before, but the numbers are important. More importantly, over and above that, KCRG will have an opportunity to do something once there is opposition unity on important, crucial issues which matter to the people, which matters when it comes to getting the votes. The question at this stage would be, if I were to ask you, can KCRG bring that opposition unity on important issues and align them before even thinking about whether he can lead them?
I accept both the people who are talking about the consistency and getting togetherness of the opposition, who is going to keep them very togetherly. Today they are meeting each other and they are talking about the Modi opposition. This is right. Everybody today, this is the strength of BJP today. BJP is very strong, confident that opposition is, there is opposition, but all together will not come forward. That is their strength. But it is in 2024, it is not going to happen. You will experience and you will see it. There is a man who is going to unite all the people, and there is a man there is a person who is going to unite and who is going to get a consistency and who is going to lead the team. And he is called he is named as Mr. KCR.
Okay.
We very strongly believe in him.
Okay. Extremely optimistic about that. If I were to take this across to Nagaraj, how much of the optimism of the of the party would you share, Nagaraj, at this stage in terms of their own hopes and aspirations of KCRG becoming a national leader?
See, I think I don't see even silver lining as far as KCR becoming the front runner for the PM's post. See, given the size of Telangana represents in Parliament, and also see acceptability of KCR among other regional players. See, I doubt, still doubt. Also, what I would like to place before you is, see, as long as some kind of ideological common thread is missing, See, this kind of unity call, pitching for unity may not be viable and it may not sustain. See, Congress party has set a binary, like, see, when Bharat Jodo, Bharat, see,
Bharat Jodo Yatra.
unity versus division. See, secular versus divisive politics. See, Aam Aadmi, like Adani. See, this kind of binary, if, say, all parties will fit into this binary, opposition parties, then they say it will be viable opposition to take on Narendra Modi. See, just just for the sake of challenging the Modi government and becoming the prime minister, this talk of opposition unity will not work, what I feel.
All right. Opposition unity will not work unless otherwise there's a common thread, ideologically speaking.
Common ideological thread that keeps anti-Modi forces together. That is very important. That is missing now.
Right. And also the fact that so many parallel meetings are happening at the same time. You just had Akhilesh Yadav meeting, Mamata Banerjee, Brajesh, too many things happening parallelly. How would you view that? Because there's activity. There is, they are sensing the need to do something with an impending election coming up. But would you say it's more of a scrambling around effort considering the chances the BJP has in the 2024 elections?
Well, I would say that, that there's no harm in trying, but the only common ideological threat which I see is that, they all are anti-Modi. And usually, either you have arithmetic working for you or chemistry. In the state of Uttar Pradesh, the first time when we saw Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samaj Party coming together, there was a famous slogan which said that Mile Mulayam Kashi Ram, Hawa mein ud gaye Jai Shri Ram. And at that point of time, the Ram Janmabhoomi temple was a rage. But the caste calculation was so powerful, that the arithmetic just simply swept the BJP away, and they came back to power in a very big, with a very good majority. Now juxtapose this with the fact that BSP, SP and Congress party getting together to fight election against Bharatiya Janata Party and perhaps performing their worst electoral performance till date, because the chemistry was with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and not with the three parties which got together. So, right now the chemistry with Prime Minister is there, and this coalition, I would agree with Nagaraj ji, is that, like, barring any common ideological thing, is looking as a most desperate coming together to take down Modi rather than, as coming together of like minds. And that is where I think the chemistry of Prime Minister takes an edge over this coalition attempts.
That Prime Ministerial face, isn't it? Prime Ministerial face that cuts across so many boundaries, so many ways. I want to understand from Bachchu Srinivas ji from Telangana, what do you see happening at this stage? What do you see the party doing? What do you see KCRG doing as the next steps from here on?
Definitely, that's what exactly. There is only one thing he is going to do. He is going to unite all the parties throughout the nation. He'll fight against the Modi ji, and he talk about all the failures of the national government today, inflation and notebandi, so many things, hiking of all the prices, many failures of the national government, and the agenda which they are unable to, whatever the unemployment, 2 crores per annum unemployment, many failures of the national government. He will speak all over India, and he will get the success, I believe. That much I have belief on him. And at the same time, all the opposition leaders today, you take Didi or Akhilesh ji, or even in southern region, Tamil Nadu, Mr. Reddy is also facing some problem with national government today. But sometime, some point of time, I believe even Mr. Jagannath Reddy will come forward to support to all the opposition today. I believe in him also.
Right.
This thing will happen tomorrow. We'll experience. We'll see the things which we are thinking that will not happen tomorrow. The arithmetic or mathematics or chemistry we are talking, which will not.
Never say never. Never say never is what they say. Never say never. Always have to have an open mind when it comes to politics, especially Indian politics, especially Indian coalition politics. We do have an open mind. That's why we're having this discussion. Nagaraj, if I can take a last comment from you, talk to us about what is happening on the ground in, say, Andhra and Telangana. Telangana, to be specific, how do you see Telangana voting in the upcoming elections?
See, what we have been seeing at the national level, the prospects of the opposition parties failing to get united, same thing is happening in Telangana. The BJP has been emerging as a force to be reckoned with. Leading to some triangular contest. It is some kind of blessing in disguise for KCR because it may lead to split in opposition vote. So ultimately, that may benefit him. That's what I believe. See, recently, what I would like to add to this whole discussion is, see, what happened in Tripura, we have seen recently, the Congress and the CPM aligned. Ultimately, what happened? Congress, CPM vote drastically fell from 44 something to 24, and seats also fell. Congress also drastically fell. See, this rank opportunism and unity for the sake of power will not work. That's what I would like to say. This is the bottom line of my take.
Rank opportunism for the sake of opposition unity will not work is the word coming in from Nagaraja. Fair point, Nagaraj. I'm afraid we have completely run out of time. But I'm going to thank Bachu Srinivas and Nagaraj for joining us on this discussion. One last comment from Brijesh and we'll wrap this up. Brijesh, quick 20 seconds if I were to ask you, we're having this discussion about KCR. What is your final take on what's going to happen with the opposition with respect to KCR? At least, what kind of a role do you see him playing going forward?
Well, it all depends on number of Lok Sabha seats even.
Okay. So that means that election dates, the post-poll alliance is what it'll all decide. Pre-poll we can sit and discuss till the cows come home, wouldn't really matter. So we will wrap things up on that front. Thank you so much for all those who tuned into this broadcast here on News 9 Live. Keep it with News 9. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.